Let's go see if this thing holds. It's not too shabby.
All of this is fueled by little cans of caffeinated sugar water that people just love. Red Bull gets people all over the world to market for them without even realizing it. And they just have this global power to get people to promote their brand for them for free. So smart. I should work for Red Bull. Take that part out. Whatever.
We need to draw up the dimensions of how that front suspension is going to come together. All right, now the length of that, we'll call it 9 1/4. This measurement, I forget. Looks like we're at 4.5 centimeters, just about 1 3/4 inches, we'll call it. Now we need to take the center of that. This center is where the shocks are. I have this line that I've done the math for. The height of the shock mount, here's the shock mount, 11 5/8 from the top of the pipe. This is that. Now I need to go from center. We know that from center we need to add 7/8 of an inch. So this is center, center. That's where the tab will go. Eight and a half. Now we have the front frame set up so we can start connecting our A-arms. We just need to do 2 more of those, the exact same.
This right here is our bushing setup for the rear swing arm. We essentially are going to weld these tabs to the main frame. This big, huge bushing is gonna sit in between the tabs. Our rear sway arm is going to be welded to this bushing so that this whole rear suspension can go up and down. Should be good. Got some big old brackets on there. Good to go. Good enough for government work. About to tack on the first little tiny tab to mount the A-arms on. Do one on the other side. Dude, honestly, for the next day, I have so much welding now to do on this. I could just freaking come up here, weld for like 3 hours.
Let's talk steering. The important part about this whole front setup is that we're able to steer it. We need to have ground clearance and we need to have the suspension. So we needed to really figure out all the measurements, and there's a lot of geometry there that we had to break out the pen and paper to calculate. You have your steering column right here. This will be clamped down and held in place. The whole thing is on gears. This connects to another column that will connect to the steering wheel. So you turn it, it pushes these back and forth, and it connects to these knuckles on the hub. So when you turn it, it's gonna be pushing this one way or the other. So it'll push it or pull it. We needed to make sure that we set this whole assembly up so that these 2 A-arms, A-arm top, the A-arm on bottom, were parallel with each other. We also needed to make sure that it was basically maxed out without the shock touching right here on this A-arm. We are almost there. We'll put the shock towers together, and then the whole assembly will look pretty much like that for the front, and it'll be beefy.
Saturday, no Red Bulls. What do we got?
The front swing arms. This is how we're gonna break it. So I'm just gonna have this hooked on probably the steering wheel, honestly. Or I could just hold it like this and like I need to stop and I'll just pull it back. You know?
So you can see we did all the shims, tabs right there. We have it all tacked on. Here's our hub. This is how it will articulate. We still obviously need to build our shock towers, but that is essentially what we're looking at. We have the rear swing arm basically all hooked up, so it'll essentially move up and down with the rear suspension, and we are absolutely ready to go here, ladies and gentlemen.
We've weighed the frame.
The front part is 30 pounds and then another 11 pounds for the swing arm, so yeah.
We budgeted 60 pounds for the frame, which means we might throw some beefy wheels on this thing.
We're gonna finish up the essential parts of the frame, and then we're going to add a few supports like for these rear shock towers, just because there's gonna be a lot of force coming up on those from the rear suspension, and then we might add a little bit of support on the front suspension setup as well. Should be good to go.
I think we're ready to roll. We got some new brakes in the mail. We're deciding if we should go with the back brake or do front brakes on both tires. These tiny rotors are all that would be stopping us from breaking our faces. So I'm going to be unboxing some of this and doing some test setup on this the front suspension. And Jacob,
Weld all day. Yeah, I'm gonna weld all day. Oh, it's good. Yeah.
good?
Yeah, make the welds nice and soft for you. It's May, middle of May. That's Utah for you. It was 87 degrees a few days ago. Now we're in a blizzard up here. Holy crap. Here's our build so far, Red Bull Soapbox. We've got our front suspension all set up. We have the rear axle and rear swing arm set up. We finally have the rear suspension coilovers all installed. To keep up with our build, like and subscribe.
Don't subscribe, because if we get 5,000 subscribers, that means that I have to wear a Speedo and Red Bull Soapbox. And if you've ever seen any of those crashes, you know that I'm gonna have some really bad road rash. Don't like the video. I won't see you there in a Speedo.